Alright, a quick run through one more time with ice controls and constrained systems for an eyeball blank. So if you remember, this is the control system that I'm finally kind of working on, using one object to control 3 bones up and down, as well as kind of a rotating, tilting one. We'll just go over the basic up and down motions first, and we can get into that other stuff a little bit later. But basically what I have here are, I'm just going to just keep things simple and have 2 sets of bones here. Again, I have 6, but right now let's just work with these 2 for right now. What I have is this set of bones here, which is kind of a, little kind of intermediate bone across the top of the eyelid, and the main set of bones here for the lower eyelid. Okay, so the first set of constraints I'm going to do, get rid of that extra null, keep things nice and easy. And also remember, I have these origin root objects. I simply turn on the shadow display and then offset those a little bit just to kind of keep this set of bones here clickable and away from this set of bones here. Just a nice little detail. So I take this end effector for this bone. Again, I can move this up and down. It makes the bone rotate. Alright, simple IK system. I use the constraint. Simply go to constraint, go to position constraint, and I first click on the top null. It goes right to that one up there. And I keep that blend to 1 or 100%. And then I go to this this bone here. There we go. So now I've got a bone with a blend between 2 constraints, 0 and 1. And I keep that at 0.5 or somewhere around there. Now to move this bone, that one stays halfway in between, giving us a nice kind of even constrained, I can envelope this and make a nice blending between the lower lid and the middle section of the eyelid skin. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. Do the same thing. I'm going to do a position constraint to the top bone, close that out, keep that on 100%, and another one to the bottom one. So now I've got 2 blends. This also goes from 0 to 1, and this one is following along, going from it's always stated at 0.5, but it can follow along as well. But what I want to do is constrain this motion up and down, this blend between 0 and 1, to this object's Y motion this way, up and down like that. So let me just kind of pull this out of the way a little bit. I'm sorry, I should go to its constraint. Remember, there are 2 position constraints. It's number 2 that we want to adjust. Number 1 stays always at 1. Number 2 goes from 0 to 1. Hold on. Okay, so this is the ice tree here, but let me go ahead and rebuild this from scratch, just so you kind of get the whole deal. Again, I take one object at the top of the head, just something simple, clickable, that everything can be kind of located in that one spot. One of the strengths about ice. And I'm going to create an ice tree. Just a real simple ice tree, nothing major. And put that right there. Now what I want to do is grab each one of these objects and put them in the ice tree. So let me open up the Explorer. Sorry. And just grab the null here. Oh, that's not what I want. I don't want that null. Excuse me. I want this object. There we go. That's the null for. Again, keep your naming conventions nice and strong so it's nice and simple. Really name these properly. That null I want to keep right there. And I also want to bring in this object as well. So let's go ahead and grab him. And explore again. Just grab that effector. So I have two objects I'm bringing in the scene. The effector and this null. So I want to get the data from the null and put the data on the effector. I'm going to get two different kinds of data as well. So what I need to do is get data here. So I'll just type in get data. I'll pipe in the out name to the in name. And I'll double click on the get data. What I want to get is the null's kinematic, local transform, position y. There we go. So that's all we need. And the effector, I want to pipe in some data into this effector. So I'll get a set data. Set data on that object. I'll pipe that name in there, and I'll set the data onto that object's kinematic constraint, the second position constraint, its blend weight. Remember, we don't touch the first one, we only want to adjust the second one. Drop the execute node in there, and remember, since we don't have this piped in yet, I can simply adjust this value here, and I'm actually driving that effector's blend weight just with a set data node here. But I can pipe in data into that node to control this. So watch what I do here. The value from the out of this position on the y-axis goes right into here and sets that object's data. So now if you move this, you can see it's actually doing something, but it's just not exactly what we need. We need to rescale that data so that this goes up and this goes down. Like that. If I double click that, what I want to do is reverse these two numbers because I'm going up, it's going down. So I would know I want to reverse these two numbers. And also, you open up the transform here, right click it. It's a good idea ahead of time also to right click or to click here and set neutral pose first, which it already is. I never touched it since I set the neutral pose before. So what I want to do is have the positive 0.1 and the negative 0.1 rescale to 0 and 1, but reversed, of course. So this is going to be negative, or this is going to be positive 0.1, and this will be negative 0.1. That'll scale to 0 and 1, and now I've got this controlling that eyelid. Set it to clamp if you don't want to go past that point. And that's basically all I do for this entire eyelid. So there's constraints, and there's a basic ice tree control for a eyelid, and all kinds of things you can do with this. This pretty much opens a whole set of doors for rigging advanced controls. So I hope that helps.